Yeah, baby.
And I shared the news on Facebook,
Oh,
the
wonderful.
website, and this morning again for the UK and with all the proper times. So
All right.
Where are you from?
I'm German.
Oh, you're German. Oh, my
That's why I don't have a Maine accent, you see.
Yeah.
my partner's daughter is joining us, Talia, and she is also German, and she's going to Berlin soon, her favorite place. So there you go.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She's going to school there?
She did, she actually, her grandmother lives there, and no, she's at NYU now for her master's in therapy, but she wants to go see her grandmother, and then she's going to some holistic community there, and they're gonna live there, which is really cool. I just, this has been hard for the young people.
Yeah.
Right?
My daughter is a senior in high school.
She is?
Yeah, so no prom, no graduation.
That's so tough.
She had to take 3 APs, and they're only on 3/4 of the material. She had 20 minutes for one question, but you needed to, 5 minutes, you had to like upload your work and everything, so and then that's your whole grade right there.
It's so crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Let me just ask for a pen and a pad. Okay. How is Maine? Maine must be, why is my screen so dark? Maine must be gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. It is super, especially in spring and summer, in winter and in fall.
Okay.
Especially winter when it ends early.
Right, exactly.
It's just a little long. It's just a little long. You'd like to have warmer temperatures now,
Today, first, it's gorgeous here today. It's like 80 degrees, right, Beth?
Yeah, beautiful. It is here in New York. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Degrees. Yeah, I just came back from Maine yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I was up in Greenville, and we had 3 snowstorms in the last 2 weeks. And we had Saturday, we had 2 inches of snow.
We had rain.
Yeah.
That's okay. And we'll have a little rain tonight, apparently. Somebody said it, so.
So
I don't know, Maine is beautiful. I'm in love with Maine. I love it. It's beautiful. So.
All right, so
go on many
minute. What I have to do, Beth, is click enter for all of them. So this will probably take a good, because listen, it's so funny. We have all the time in the world and everyone's always late. So
I know, it's true.
It's just happening. It's like, I don't know. And time seems to be going so fast.
I didn't want to forget it. And I walked around and I did things and I said, oh, what time is it? 48.
It's so easy to forget.
Yeah, woke me up.
So, we'll just wait a little while longer. We have 2 minutes. That's why.
Yeah, we're good.
Everybody's so excited, Beth. Everybody's really, really excited. And I think this is a time, well, I'll say it when I introduce you. How would you like to be introduced? Dr. Beth Rordam?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, and I don't really like those titles, but it does help. Just say Dr. Beth Rordam. I just go by Beth, of course, but so I have a master's of acupuncture, and a doctorate in acupuncture. And I came from a massage background, I was very, very body focused, which has really, been helpful, in understanding all of this. So.
And then I ask you to explain to people the sessions that you're doing.
Yeah.
Your offerings and how to with you and all of that, which is great.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I'll probably, maybe we can send everybody a link, that's come, afterwards, so that they can, I don't know. Anyway, I'm fine.
Now in the chat room, you see the Zoom chat room?
Yeah.
So why don't we start, if you just put your name in there and like your information, then I could have everybody.
Oh, good. And the website and all that, and then they can just click on that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
Okay.
on all of my flyers, but it's good just to have it on.
Right.
Barbara,
Yeah,
I will be here in 1 minute.
no problem. There's no rush. Oh, see waiting room. Okay, so there's a lot of, I don't know why this is very dark all of a sudden. Very odd. Okay.
But you're not dark.
I don't look dark?
No.
No.
No, you're fine.
Perfect. Yep, people are coming. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, there's more. Here we go. Admit. It's like so funny. No, I'm not going to admit you. Hey, Deb. Debbie Doodle, how are you?
Oh man, I miss you.
I miss you too.
I mean, look at me. I need help.
Oh, you look great.
Oh, please, let me turn on more light.
I know. I feel like it's very dark in here. I wonder if I
No,
should.
you're fine.
I think you're fine. Yeah.
You're
That's
fine.
odd.
I had to do mine. Uh-oh.
Holly, hi. You can just kick her off the chair. This is Talia. So Barbara and Talia are together,
Oh, good. Okay.
and Helu is
Hi.
here. Hi.
Hey.
Oh, see, I needed a young girl.
I know.
Man, I am
know.
really to hear. Ooh, baby. Okay, admit. Some people don't even have their name. It could be some very odd person. I know
So
everybody's.
is my name there? It should be. Yeah, I see your
Name
name.
there. Everyone who's on the Zoom call, hi, we're waiting for people, but Dr. Beth's information is up on the chat. So you might want to just copy it now. Let me go back to the. Deb, how are you?
Oh God, that's a very long question. Save for another day. I haven't even been outside today, and I heard it's really hot. I know.
By the way, I could admit it now. I'm negative. You can come up. I
Yay!
had, I feel like it's a scarlet letter. I had COVID, and I was lucky. It was a quick sweep. It wasn't a big deal, but I had a test negative before I could see my friends like Deb. So I really felt like I was like a bad girl. But we don't even know how we got it because we were quarantined.
Yeah, this
Wow.
quarantine stuff sucks.
So you had symptoms?
So I had a fever for one day, and then I lost my taste, and everybody was like, that's not it, because it wasn't a big deal. And I'm on a pretty strong protocol. And then my partner came down and had it really bad. And it was bad. I mean, so we worked with Donnie Yance and Dr. Horowitz. He went on some anti-malarial, like the Abimet and all the herbs, and he's fine.
Yeah.
But we had a test negative, and so that's the thing. I went, and by the way, that test, when they take this, and Talia can tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, they go deep into your head. And so I was negative, I was positive twice, but finally we got the negative.
Wow.
It lingers in people's body. This is an unknown. Some people have it in an easy way. It lingers with some people. There's just so many variations that we don't know about yet. But what I do know from having gone through this is that a certain nutritional protocol, Beth, and you can comment on this, of what I was told, zinc isn't really important because the virus hijacks the zinc, and C, and the D is now important, and the green tea, and the garlic. I'm taking a lot of garlic.
Yeah.
A lot of garlic.
A lot of garlic.
She had the virus.
She had the virus, but I'm okay now. Don't tell anyone. Okay.
This is well, this has really been spurring me on, all of this discussion, because it's very interesting to help clear up some of the ways you know, that alternative practitioners view healing, you know, which is a little, no, very different. I was gonna say little different. It's very different, you know, from Western medicine views, and it's been helping, you know, to you know, bring the ear seeds into it, because and explain it, because you can, you know, explain it without fear. You know, it's not an either or proposition. You know, we know there are other ways to view.
Absolutely. So, hi, Kim. Hi, Kim.
I finally got on.
Glad you got on. I know some people are going to be on because so many people said they were coming on, but you know, we could, so I
have a few people that are, I have one person for sure that, all right, let me see.
The little number wouldn't click. I just had to put it in manually. That's all.
Oh.
So that might be a delay.
That
I had the same problem. I'm having a problem with Zoom today all the way around. I don't know if they changed their protocols or something.
Mm-hmm.
that was weird.
Yeah.
Put it up, and that's a bummer. I hope people can figure that out. Let me see.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. And Dr. Beth's info is there, and
Okay.
yeah.
Wait, let me just see. I have
Anything while we're waiting, just another minute. So, oh, here's someone else. Oh, this is perfect that she's here. Thayer, oh, there's beautiful Thayer. Hi, Thayer. I'm going to just do a little quick advertisement for this amazing mask. My friend Thayer down there is kind of like a shaman, and a year ago, she intuited and saw people wearing masks. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah, she intuited it right there. There. And so she made these masks. They're really reasonable. They're made out of hemp and silk.
Oh, nice.
And they're really awesome. And they come in all these colors like purple and black. And there's a little pouch for the essential oils if you want to like put something with the essential oils.
Good for her.
That's a great idea for the thieves. Yeah.
Yeah.
There. Let me just tell her to put her information. They're reasonable. They're $20, and you can wash them.
Barbara, how do you add the essential oil? Do you have like a little gauze pad or something that you slip in there?
So what you could do is you could do a little cotton ball. You could do anything really, but I would like to ask Thayer, can you hear me? Okay. So yes, that's what you could do. And I love, here it is here, the little pouch. And you know, they're saying, oh, here, someone just said, I don't know how to do audio. Bottom left, that's there. And so there's been a lot of, and you can comment on this, Beth, that clove and thieves and all of those are really, you know, potent at kind of keeping viruses at bay. There's a lot more. I have a whole essential oil thing. So that's a whole other thing. These categories. So I think at this point, I'm surprised. Well, it's only 12. I hope it wasn't because of that link, Beth, and if so, I'll have to do it again.
Was there anyone in the waiting room?
I am not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. All righty. All right. So you think we should start?
I think it's probably a good time to, I mean, unless anyone else wants to. So again, I'll put it up where to get this mask. I just love them. And I think this is going to be going on for a while. They are,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Thayer, I would like the link actually, because I'm gonna have to wear one in the office, and that looks like a nice one.
it's really nice. And, but she has all these different colors.
Uh-huh.
And I'm
Okay,
sure
cool.
that if you're,
Yeah, maybe she can put her information in the chat. Oh, there she did.
that was me.
Oh, you did it. Okay. All right, good.
But again, can you imagine that I remember she came to my house. She said, what do you think about this? That she had this vision. It's like wild.
That is wild.
Wow.
Hi, Norma.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you. I
Thank
don't
you.
know who those other, is that you, Jerry? I don't know who the other two.
Yeah, the 203. I don't know.
You 203 mysterious people.
Oh, you know what? It might be my friend in Connecticut. I know she invited a couple of people, but maybe they just don't want to be on camera.
That's okay, guys. Well, welcome anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just keep adding. Oh, hi.
This is me, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
Can,
Hi, Sarah.
Can anyone hear me yet? But I'm eating, so I'm going to go off camera.
I have a question. When you hit chat and you write something in, how do you send it or make it go? I tried to do that on the last Zoom, Barbara, responding to that. If I hit chat and I want to type something, how do you hit go or how do you hit send?
Enter.
When you're in the chat.
Hit
You just enter.
the return button.
There's a return button? Okay. I didn't see.
On your
keyboard.
computer.
Oh, on your keyboard. All right. Thank you. That's all I needed.
Coming in. Woohoo. Whoa. Okay. Welcome.
Okay, another 203.
We got 13. Do I hear 14? Okay. So,
Hey, my lucky number, 13.
okay.
Now we're ready.
We're gonna let Beth, has so generously offered to teach us, to empower us on skills for acupressure points, and I'm sure she'll explain it much better. Her information is up on the Zoom group chat, as well as Thayer Barkley, who makes these amazing masks with a little pouch for essential oils. Okay.
All right, very good. Okay, hi everybody.
Hello.
So, yeah, my name is Beth Rordam. I am a doctor of acupuncture. I have an office in Mount Kisco, and we do body work. I do massage. I do cupping. I do gua sha. Of course, acupuncture, essential oils, and after this is over, if you would like to do a telemedicine consultation, we're scheduling those during this this time, and it's we can, you know, and we're going to go over general ways, you know, to use the ear seeds, and you'll have enough information to treat you know, basic conditions, especially any areas of pain, and I'll give you tips and tricks. You really, you know, for simple conditions, you'll be able to figure it out.
How much are your sessions?
All right, so for $50, you know, you can meet with my partner Mike Mullins and I, and I'll give you a detailed prescription, you know, for ear seeds. You know, and other, like we were talking about, Barbara was saying she just got over COVID, and there's a lot of ways that you can deal with this. You know, it's not.
I'm going to book you. That's already in my game plan.
Okay, good. You know, in this time, you know, we're being given a lot of, you know, messages of fear, and you know, and it's not, and you know, it's not, this is not in, you know, counter, you know, to what you're being told. It's another way to look at health and healing. And, you know, you know, and it's we can all work together. It's not like, well, you know, social distancing or building your immune system. You know, it's like you can do both. You know, be careful, you know, you know, the guidelines are there for a reason. Engage with them, you know, as you see fit. But, you know, really it's, you know, true healing is about being healthy, you know, and we have resources to deal with viruses. You know, we've the body is very intelligent and it really can, you know, with very small changes can really, can make big difference.
Beth, I have one question. Do
Yeah.
you want people to say their questions for the end, or do you want to have an interactive program? Whatever every speaker is different. So what works for you?
I think what I'm going to do is I have a little presentation here, and
Okay.
I'll go through it kind of page by page, And then at the end of each section, I'll just say,
so
does that make sense? Any questions? Maybe, yeah,
that's good. And
yeah.
everyone has to mute their audios, because what happens is if there's a little sound, not even talking, it switches it over to your screen.
Right. And then at the end, we'll have a whole, time for questions. And so I'll go through the presentation, I'll give you some examples, and then at the end we can do more questions. And it even is helpful if people want to share, partly what's going on with them. And if you want to, show us if you can bring your ear up to the camera.
By the way, I told you I have a very large ear, so
Yeah.
if you want to use my ear, I swear it's embarrassing, but apparently it's very good in Chinese medicine.
It is very good, yeah. Yeah, big ears actually are very good. Like you see the Buddha, and all the Buddhas have really big lobes because it means that you have good chi. But everyone, I'd like to see your ear if you'd like to share it. Because there's certain markings on the ear that
Talia could
show me different chronic conditions that you might be dealing with. And so it's interesting. It's not only a diagnostic, it actually it's not only a treatment, it's a diagnostic as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
All right. Anybody have a burning question before we start? Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So this is my presentation, and I call it Ear Seeds and the Transformation of Humanity. So that's my goal, is to transform the world. But you'll see where I'm going with that, and so taking it with a little humor. So today we're going to learn about auricular acupressure, ear seeds to boost your immune system, and it's a revolutionary way to heal the body, and it will. I really do want to change the whole way that you view reality. Yeah. All right, we ready? Any questions after that intro? Okay, very good.
To me.
All right, very good. And you'll keep, Barbara, you'll let me know if anybody raises their hand. Do they know how to raise their hand and ask questions? Or
how do you do that? So
you have to go into chat. How do you do that?
I would turn off your audio. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we let you talk, and then we'll do questions that could be better. Like you said, like at the end, unless you don't mind. If someone has a burning question, I guess I will see you and just go.
Wave. Okay.
But in the meantime, try to meet the audience.
I have something actually, and there's no raise your hand option here.
Yeah.
But,
no, it's like that.
There is actually.
I just wanted to say, just to put it out there, that years ago I had ear seeds by an acupuncturist in Norwalk, and then he hooked up electricity to them, or to my ear and everything, and I wound up having a major asthma attack. I have asthma, so I was just so I'd like to know what happened. I wound up having a friend take me to the hospital and everything. I mean, it was incredibly intense.
Wow.
Right.
So I was just curious, what in my ear was doing that, and if in some shape or form you can't.
Yeah. No, this is a great question, and
that out.
So this is what is different about when we talk about building up the natural immune system, or what we've come to accept today as symptom suppression and long-term chemical addiction. This is how I see Western medicine. That I think that it's always been it's been a tendency in Western medicine, but now we see that it's their main focus. And I think we see that with the drugs, and more and more people are on long-term medications, multiple medications. And, so you go to a regular doctor and you have a headache, right? And you're going to judge that treatment whether afterwards you don't have a headache or you still have the headache, right? That is, that's why we go. We have this sickness, we go to the doctor, either you take You do what he tells you, either have the headache or you don't have the headache, right? You come to the acupuncturist and said, well, what did you eat? You know, how's your stomach feeling? Did you sleep? You know, what, tell me about your childhood. What is your basic feeling today? And, so this is holistic medicine. It's the whole person, that we are not mechanistic beings. We are living energetic beings. And this is my next slide, is seeing the body as energy, seeing the world as energy, seeing our lives as energy, that we are, that there are chemical systems in the body, right? We know that, but we know that our body responds to emotional stimuli, to, how much we've rested, what we've eaten, our relationships, everything. We are holistic beings. No, I just froze. Are we okay? Can everybody hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I back? Okay. All right. Now we're back. All right. Did everybody get that? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Does everybody see Beth small or large?
I see Beth
Do
smaller.
you have it on speaker view or a tile view? And that's on the upper right-hand corner. You can make that change.
One of the people on the phone, I think, is not on mute.
Or the phone keeps coming up in place of you, the little phone icon.
Yeah, the 20337.
The host can mute all.
Yeah. Barbara, if you could mute them. Okay. All right. And so what happened to Sarita is that the acupuncturist, she came in, I forget what she had. She had allergies. So he put it in, and she actually got worse allergies, right? So, and I've had this before. We call these healing reactions. So in the body, a simple, there's a certain order of healing that the body.
Okay, Beth, wait a second. Oh, Beth, unmute yourself. I muted everyone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Okay. So what Sarita is describing is a healing reaction, that the body, we when we get a sickness like the flu, we get a fever, we think, I got to treat this fever. Okay, I got this fever, I got to treat the fever, right? But what we don't understand is that's the body's healing mechanism. The heat of the fever actually can destroy the virus. This is the body's immune system. We look at it as the fever is something that we have to treat. So we don't look at it holistically. Cholesterol is a good example. We have high cholesterol, but we don't even know why we're treating high cholesterol. So we have medications to treat certain symptoms, but we don't have a clear understanding of, why the body should or shouldn't be doing that. So that building your immune system is a very different mechanism than symptom suppression. And it really is something that I've had to learn how to talk about, because it happens a lot in practice, and even something simple as carpal tunnel. People come to me all the time with a carpal tunnel, and so it's right, the pain is in the wrist. And I'm like, well, I can't take away the pain in the wrist until we take care of this, chronic shoulder condition. So because if you don't get any circulation down the arm, there's no healing that can take place. So we have to look at the root causes. I can't just do a surgical procedure to open up the circulation in your wrist if the root of the problem is in the shoulder and it's never corrected, So this is where natural medicine, you know, I never add anything into the body. That acupuncturist that, you know, put a needle into the ear only was helping your body to do what it needed to do. The body will not react to a needle in the ear by causing allergies unless it needs to get through that. It may have needed to get out some congestion, you know, that you were holding on to. You know, there was a deeper issue that needed to get resolved.
So, I just want to say that I am also working with someone right now, and I'm deathly allergic to aspirin, and one of the protocols was to take a baby aspirin. And I did that. And I just didn't think much about it. I've done it before. And I went about my day, and 11 o'clock, I'm in Stop and Shop, and I have a full-blown asthma attack. And my whole digestive system went bonkers. I had to totally go to the bathroom, and it's all connected, as you know. But this is a similar thing. And I'm thinking, oh, I was trying to say, you know how to do this. Your body can figure this out. You know how to do this. But it really got to a point where I drove myself home, called a friend to come help me get my nebulizer from my, you know, so yeah, it's I mean, Western medicine is good in these critical situations because I wouldn't have survived, but I wish I could live through that. You know, I did live through the sinus part of it without taking anything. So I'm learning, but I think we all have to learn how to, you know, live through it. Donnie helped me live through fever years ago. You know, he coached me on the phone when I had a very high fever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's really a challenge, and it's so hard to explain that to someone.
Right.
Like,
That's where the education comes in, that a fever doesn't mean, like you said, Beth, to suppress it, because your body is trying to, unless it's like 104.
That was my first experience for understanding that with Donnie. So
excellent.
Okay, well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing, and take it away, Beth.
And thanks for bringing it up. That's a very complex subject, by the way. And if you're confused by that, it's understandable. You know, so you know that some of us are new to you know, holistic medicine. You know, so just kind of you know, stick with it. It's not like, you know, acupuncture, you know, causes you to get worse, you know, and then you got to suffer and, you know, almost die. And then you got to, you know, it's usually much more gentle, you know, but, you know, I have to say a lot of times my treatments will exacerbate symptoms. Well, you know, the pain will just move, you know, they'll be like, well, it was in my shoulder and now I'm feeling it in my arm now. You're like, you didn't do anything, you just moved it around. But it's, you know, it's understanding that the body has a process of healing, you know, and it really is, we've been so medicalized and chemicalized that a lot of us have really lost touch with that mechanism. It was, you know, so here we go. So the body is energy. Okay. So the ancient art of acupuncture, the body was seen very differently. The human body was not only viewed as physical, it had its own energetic force and internal pathways, which governed all the processes. And these are the, oh yes, you can see it. Oh, I gotta see. How do I, oh, here it is. There's my, can you guys see that? Oh, it's hard with this background, huh? Anyway, this is my meridian man. Well, anyway, you can't see it. But anyway, in acupuncture, we have all of the meridians, the energy centers of the body that we can focus with the needles, you know, that we can affect with the needles. And these pathways, or meridians, as we call them in Chinese medicine, work to guard against physical disease and maintain health. In ancient times, health was more broadly defined, and that they would be for not only physical conditions, but mental, emotional issues and spiritual conditions. So a lot of people don't realize that every point in Chinese medicine has physical properties, but they also, talk about how the lungs are for sadness, the kidney is for fear, that all of these emotional centers are also represented in the points. And then spiritual issues, that the heart within the heart is your spiritual connection. So we can work on every level of imbalance, and they always saw it as a connection. There was never any difference between treating somebody for a emotional issue or a physical issue, and you treat them all together. They recognize that the emotional stress or emotional can cause physical ailments. So it's and it's something, of course, we're relearning today. We've forgotten, but we know it today. So now how does this work, right? How does this work in Chinese medicine? So in Chinese medicine, we work on, many different ways, but one of the ways are these fractal patterns that we see in nature. So fractal patterns are ways that in nature, the systems grow and repeat. We see these natural patterns in nature. They can be, in spiritual geometry, you can see a sunflower and how the seeds of the sunflower are in the flower is a Fibonacci pattern. It goes back to spiritual geometry. All of these patterns in nature we know are repeated, right? And we can we see like the galaxies are a certain configuration. There are all of these ways that natural systems reproduce, based on this these repeating patterns. And in the human body, we see these as repeating patterns. We see them in the ear, and if you see behind me, and everyone got the material, on the website. So you see the image of the ear right here behind me is looks like a infant in the womb for a reason. Okay. And then if you, let me go over there. And so then here, and we've actually tracked these points. And what some people don't realize is that this goes back, it goes back into antiquity, because acupuncture in some estimations could be 10,000 years old or 2,000 years old, but it was one of the original ways we healed each other. And so this, so we saw these patterns, and now we've actually studied these in modern times. Some of the material that I was giving to actually comes from the Army, from the U.S. military, that has verified these points and also has done research. And they've used auricular acupuncture in hospitals. It was, what's interesting, it was rediscovered in France by a French doctor. And there's a whole series of French auricular acupuncture. And then the Chinese, around the time of Mao, they realized that the French were doing all this work, and they re-verified it. So we have a Chinese system and we have an English system. So you may see different points in the Chinese system and the English system. But what's so interesting is that it really is, you can just look at this picture of the baby in the womb, and you can you just figure out where to put the points, because all of the points on the lobe are basically for head and headaches and things like this. And then, the spine is that area on the ear, that ridge, so it's one of the easiest microsystems that we have. People know a lot about the foot, reflexology, and the hand has its own system. And as an acupuncturist, I use points on the belly or the arm or the leg, and it's also corresponding to these images. All right. All right. So let's keep going. So okay. Any questions? Everybody's good? Okay. So this series of acupoints and meridian system is complex, and it covers the entire body. And the most powerful points are located in areas of great change, right? The joints or areas of fascia. But the steeper and more complex the curves, the more change is occurring. And when you see how complex the ear is, you can see why we have, so many points there. And so there are many conditions that respond to ear seeds. And so I've given you some of the protocols, and it's, it basically, when we do in the office with the needles, so here, this is showing you all of the musculoskeletal points. So that is not a treatment. That's a, just to tell you where the points are. But you'll see there are many, many different points on the ear. But the good thing about the ear seeds, here, let me show you them. How many people got them? Okay, so just Barbara. So so it's why I love ear seeds, right? So it's easy to use, right? So what we can, you see, these are the seeds right there, you see them? So the black dot is just a seed. Hulu, did she want to say something? What?
Hold it in front of your body, and then everybody can see it. When you go towards your screen.
All right, Barbara has it, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, good.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
I ordered these when we started the class on Amazon, and you get a whole huge pack for like $9.
Right. Yeah, so a typical treatment, so they're about a penny a piece for the ear seeds. So a typical treatment is about 10 cents cost. So that's fantastic. And so you can, and other points on the body, we can use acupressure, right? Reflexology, or on the hand, on the foot. But if you've ever given someone a foot massage, and really try to put in those points on the foot, I mean, those women, they have those thumbs for a reason. I mean, it's very hard to get the right pressure that you need to affect those points. That's why we use needles, because acupressure works, but it's really hard to get into those body points. But the ear is so sensitive, right now you can just, put your fingernail on a point and you'll affect the change, so you can get that point stimulated. So, and I call ear seeds time release acupuncture, because I use them in the office all the time. If you come in to see me, we'll do body work, we'll do acupuncture, and then I do the ear seeds, and you go home. They'll stay for, about 5 days, maybe longer. And then it's just a way, it's a gentle reminder of where the body needs its attention. It's just a gentle reminder that I have had cases where, if anyone has any kind of severe pain right now, I could show you the point to press, and you may see, within, 10 to 20 minutes, a change, so you will see this work. It's usually not a standalone treatment, but people are using it that way. And it can be, anyone can use it to help any condition that you're going through now. And it doesn't matter medications or, other therapies that you're doing, it won't interfere, because we're working on a completely different level, right? And this is why it is a really good time for this medicine. Because if you ever get into, like we were talking to about essential oils or herbs or vitamins, we need to clear with the medical community, because it can interfere with the medications that you're taking. So anything that you take internally, you really do need to be careful with if you're on other medications. But any kind of energetic treatment, you know, it's working on a different level. So it's just focusing your own energy a little bit differently, you know, so it will only help. It may not help in the way right away that you think, like, you know, we were talking about healing reactions, and there may be other things that we need to do before we get a complete healing, but it will focus your immune system. So, and the other thing that I really like about the ear seeds, and it's in this time of social distancing and isolation, it really it's stressful for all of us to be separated. We need connections. We need people around us, and the ear seeds actually are very hard to do on your own. You know, so I like that I'm giving you these ear seeds. You know, this information. Take it for yourself, but take it for your friends, your loved ones. You know, and treat each other. You know, show how we're all in this together. That we don't need to have necessarily, you know, an authority figure or someone else coming in. We are our own healers. You know, and I want to empower anybody to use this, definitely on their families. And I will be starting to offer courses for medical professionals, for massage therapists, PTs, and even MDs that are interested in this, because it's something that is anyone can use, you know, in their practice. So if anybody want to talk to me about that later. All right, any questions? I think we're coming toward the conclusion. Okay, so basically, you know, we've talked about some of these things before, that the you know, the way Western medicine works is really, I call it a whack-a-mole medicine, you know, because it's a symptom, you suppression, another symptom, suppression. You get 6 months from now some chronic condition that can be suppression. You know, it's just that, you know, that car when the brake fluid light comes on, or the, you know, engine light comes on, and you put a piece of tape over it, you know, and you just keep driving, right? And they're like, oh, I don't know why the car broke down. I can't imagine, you know. So it's you know, so looking at the body holistically, and also not just as a body. Our lives are not just bodies. You know, we have you know, our whole social structure, our emotional picture, you know, our spiritual connection, you know. So you know, and the spiritual aspect of this is really interesting to me, because I brought it up a little bit in the beginning, but you know, really for me, it is a spiritual endeavor, because when you look at these patterns, and especially in the patterns in the body, the initial spiritual geometry is the flower of life. And I don't know if people know that shape, but it goes back to antiquity. You know, and the Sumerians worshiped the flower of life. And we know now that this flower of life is actually the shape of the cells during conception. And that we can trace these images that are formed in the body, that they are connected because these cells were actually the same cell. So these cells that form the earlobe were at one point the same cell as the cells in the head. That's why those patterns keep repeating. Okay, that was what blew my mind, okay, when I realized that, you know, and it's this pattern of the baby in the womb.
Can you say that again?
Okay.
Say that one more time.
So the flower of life, you know, is the image of the cells during conception. The first 8 cells, when they divide, form the shape of the flower of life. And they have shown that these cells, as they divide, these connections remain. You know, and we have studied this in Western medicine as well. And the reason that this ear looks like a baby is because these cells in the lobe were once the same cells in the head. The same, it has the same source. So when I needle your earlobe for your headache, it's sending that energy straight to source. So we're connecting your energy straight to source. We're clearing that blockage. In Chinese medicine, the pain or any disease is an energy blockage. So we're clearing that disconnection from source. So that's what I love about it. So it really is a sea change, and looking at actually reality different, that not viewing us as bodies, viewing us as energy, as emotional and spiritual entities that we are. In Western medicine, it's cadaver medicine. It's using, seeing the body as a machine. And I'm not saying that hasn't been useful, and that's the thing, yes, if, certain antibiotics and, certain emergency medicine, if I was in a car accident, I would not go to the acupuncturist, and surgeries, we've gotten a lot of advances because of it, but we're almost kind of at the end of that, view, and that's what's, that's where acupuncturists and other energy healers are seeing the change, the real, a different picture of healing. And I attribute it to a sea change is when we went from a flat earth society to understanding that it's around earth, and I keep telling people, it's like, as people that deal in energy medicine, we keep going over the horizon and coming back, and we're like, it's okay, you're not going to fall off, it's okay, you like if you don't take that, aspirin for your fever, not necessarily, within guidelines, I'm not saying to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, but, there are different ways to look at healing, and looking at the root causes, looking at the spiritual issues, the emotional issues, and, using acupuncture and acupressure, are, not a, threat, to Western medicine, but it's something we should all be doing. And unfortunately, right now we have a medical system, it's not necessarily, they're not bad people. They're in a very limited view of the human body right now. And it's very profitable, unfortunately. So the whole system kind of perpetuates itself. And so we're seen kind of as outliers. But in the end, we'll see. It's how are you feeling? Ask people with all this, is this working? Is it really working? Is it time to look at things a little bit differently? And that's what, and so in conclusion, I just wanted to, this is I wanted to read a little quote by Neil Walsh. He wrote Conversations with God. And he said, "We are all this very day just one step away from our magnificence. We have been told by the anthropologists that our fundamental instinct is fear or survival, but this does little to explain about how we sacrifice ourselves for others when given the opportunity. When we hear the baby crying in the burning building, we don't think, we act with our thought of safety. We give and love in the face of adversity. This is the fundamental instinct of humanity. It's not survival, it's divinity. When we choose to see ourselves as beings of light and love, we set an example for the world and we draw that energy toward us. We become the beacons of truth about existence. The truth that the energy of life and source energy is true healing, or chi, what we call tri. And it is love. And he said, when the new world is born on the ashes of this toxic mess, it will be birthed from our collective spirit of love and compassion for all living things. And that really is, that it is this And that's really what healing is. That's chi. So, all right, I'll leave it open for questions. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you.
Beautiful, really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So, anybody have any questions? Comments?
I have a personal question, but I don't know if you want to have personal questions. Well,
well, go ahead.
You want me to ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. I have a question because I have tinnitus. And I was looking on the charts before we signed on, and I see that there are some for certain brain organs in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like that's such a nebulous question of communication within the brain. And I'm just curious if you've ever dealt with something that kind of vague, tinnitus.
Yeah, tinnitus is, it is complex, and you might want to schedule with us because there are some other supplements that can help too. But you can, I can give you a protocol for tinnitus. We do have protocols for tinnitus, and it really is, it's about creating circulation. A lot of times it has to do with chronic neck and shoulder tension, that decreases circulation, and you get some calcifications. So a lot of times, I just need to know it's somewhere in my ear. Something's wrong with my ear. We just put on the ear points, but it can affect anything. If it's going to be enough to heal you completely, we don't know. It all depends. Like I always say, I only work with your chi, right? Your energy. What you bring to me is what we have to use. So if it's like the chronic condition or the acute condition. If you have a neck pain because you slept wrong one night and you see me the next day, easy, but if you've had it for 20 years and operations and, blah, 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 it's going to take longer. So it depends on how much chi you have, but it will start the process, yeah.
Okay.
There is you can get an app on your phone. It's called Auriculo 3D. If you're really interested in this, and it has probably like 100 different protocols, and it's available, to the public. I think it's like $30. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Beth, someone asked what happens if you're being treated and it's in the wrong place.
Right. See, this is what I like about this too. So when we put in the needles, we have to be very specific about what point we're needling, and it's very precise, right? And you see all of the different points, right, that you could needle. But with the ear seeds, it's a larger, of course, than the needle, and it'll affect a larger area. You tape them onto the ear, and that whole area gets stimulated. So if you're off a little bit, it won't matter. Like it won't be as good of a treatment. The closer you can get, the better, that the treatment will be. But that's why I like them for home use. I wouldn't recommend, sending somebody home with needles, although you couldn't hurt yourself if you're needling in the ear. It's much better. The acupressure is a much larger area of action. And you, someone asked, how long do you keep the seeds on the spot? As long as you can, but after 5 days, the skin's going to start to get irritated. You just wash it off with alcohol, let them rest for a day or two, and then you can put them back on. And
you mentioned tape, Beth. Is there a certain tape we should get to keep them?
This is the tape. So the seed that you were showing is the seed on one side and the tape is on the other. So you just peel it off with a tweezer and then put it on the ear.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Oh my God, wow. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. By the way, I want to tell everyone that on the original flyer, all the PDFs are downloadable. So we just printed these out. I mean, this ear is even bigger than mine. And so, but if you really get to see what's going on here, you can't mess up, really.
Right.
So, I mean, look, this is so cool. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Beth. I love this.
So sorry, because I went to print it from the email and I can't possibly read it. So you change it to a PDF first and then print it?
No. There's when you go to lifebalance.com and go to events and you click on it, which is what I just did,
Mm-hmm.
on the bottom, there's all those flyers. All you do is click on it and you can print it.
Oh, I clicked on the first one. Okay, I'll try clicking on each one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. Does anyone want to show me their ear? And I can give you a quick
Well, yeah, we both have.
diagnosis. Okay. All right. Wait, I need to, okay. For some reason, I need to get it bigger. How do I get that bigger?
Okay, so.
Oh, wait. Okay, let's do it again. Yeah, do it again. You're in my speaker view. Okay, come on in. Okay. Well, you're too young. You don't have much wrong with you. No, she has a perfect ear. I don't see.
Wait a sec. Wait, here we go.
Let me see. No, this. Go ahead.
Is it there?
Yeah. So I do see. Now we can see things on this ear. Is there any neck pain, or
Yeah. Some. Not a lot. Some shoulder.
Shoulder, neck, and shoulder.
A little bit, nothing crazy, but my neck went through a windshield when I was 18.
Oh, all right.
My
Let's see that again. I want people to see this because that's what okay. Turn, yeah. Now, you guys see how it's a little bit puffy on the ear, right? On the lobe. And then there's a line right there on the neck area, but this puffiness right there, there's some that shows me like headaches or there's some head and neck issues going on. Yeah.
Could it be allergies? Like
you have a lot of allergies?
I don't have a lot, but we've all been getting a little stuffed up.
Well, it could be nasal. Yeah, I mean that is in that area too.
It's actually not allergies, sinus. It's sinus.
Sinus,
But we have sinus issues.
Right. Yeah, that is the head and the neck and the shoulder. And so what happens is it's all of like circulation is healing, right? When we can get circulation, the body can heal, when things are stuck, so that, a lot of times, chronic headaches or migraines are really just neck and shoulder tensions that the body can't clear out toxins. So, that's a good place for ear seeds. Yeah. So if you see, so you can go by the chart, but if there's any, identifying features in that area, pay attention, and focus on anything that's like if it's red, that would be an inflammation, but that puffiness is more of a chronic condition that's been there for a while.
Is it sinus or neck?
Well, so it could be both, and
okay.
So that it's in that area, is what I'm saying. It's definitely in that area. Yeah.
And that's over here?
Yeah. I didn't see anything like really red and angry looking, but it looked like more of a chronic condition that was like a low grade thing. And it is true that these conditions over time, show up in the ear. The older we are, they actually, they show up more and more. Like, usually, unless you have something very severe as a young person, it won't show up in these images yet. It's more of a treatment. Yeah. Anybody else want to? Helu? All right, Helu wants to go. I'm going to unmute her. So that, okay.
Well, you have to now.
All right, come in closer.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I also see something in the neck. And then is there low back stuff? Any kidney issues?
Actually, no, but I was working in the garden over the last few days and I certainly do a lot of stretching.
Okay.
And, yeah. Well, I don't know if that would make a difference. Does it? It really does?
No, this would be something chronic and long-term. It's not going to show up if it's just a spasm that you had from gardening. If you had a severe car accident, you know, and there was, you know, we had an operation, you know, like it could be a severe thing, and it may show up. But anyway, I was just trying to, you know, see if I could spot anything. I don't see anything too big, but there is something in the kidney area, in the lower back
Really?
area. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I better drink my water now.
All righty. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Oh, Norma?
If I can get a good picture.
Okay.
There.
Okay, wait, okay, you need to move over. Yeah, and I'm not seeing, I need to see the flat part of the ear. Okay, turn your head toward the camera. Other way, turn. Okay, right there. I think that's, okay. There's, I don't know, I don't see anything too big there, although there is something like adrenals or something. There is a little bit in the neck and shoulders, and I do see something in the cervical spine. Anything in the, do you get headaches?
Yeah.
Okay, the headaches, yeah. So that is, yeah, you actually have on the neck area a pretty large, I don't know, protrusion, like you know, it's a bump.
I'll have to take my own photo and like.
Yeah. But get a partner, because that really is the way to do it, you know, that you know, make that connection. And I put you know, I like to, when I do the clinics in person, I like to have people like do a meditation together, you know, and really connect on a personal level, you know, not just you know, doing a you know, a routine treatment. You know, we really want to, you know, see how they're doing and what, you know, talk about the emotional issues. It's not just about, you know, the pain, and, you know, how is, you know, your spiritual journey, you know, and that human connection is really, you know, the healing, you know, that we need, you know, so, you know,
I have my 17-year-old sitting here, so we can work on it together. She won't come on camera, but.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, I have a 17-year-old at home too. It's a different world, right? We never see them, but now, yeah, they're trapped.
So.
All righty.
Can I
Is
ask
that everybody?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
For me, do you have to be two to put the ear pods in, or can you just do it yourself, or no?
So it's harder to do yourself, but I do it myself, and I have other patients, you know, that do it themselves. But it really is, you know, you have to get in a mirror, and you have to really, you know, kind of twist yourself around. It's not, you know, you can if you're,
Okay.
you know, if you really.
But ideally, it's for two people.
Yeah, you know, because it really, you know, you really want to, you know, try to give yourself the best shot of getting in the right place. You know, it's hard enough, you know, to see the ear and to get it in the right place, and you're, you know, back and forth.
Yes.
But yeah. It really is, it's simple to do it on someone else. It's very difficult to do it on yourself. Yeah. Good. Yeah, so that's
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sure. All righty. Is that everybody? All right. Well, I guess that's it. So, yeah, so have fun with this and enjoy. And, you know, if anyone wants to schedule a consultation, let me know. We're, you know, closed for it right now. Hopefully we'll be able to open up in the next few weeks.
Are you going to show us how, like, can you, like, are you done? Can you show us, like, okay, for example.
Yeah.
How do we do this? Like, so, I mean, I see this here. So I have Talia here with me. So you just kind of take it off.
So take it off. I have a tweezer that I use. So I'm going to show you. But yeah, it's better with the tweezer. Yeah, if you guys want to work on it yourself, the two of you, and you can show us how you're doing it. Yeah. So she's got a tweezer there?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, fantastic. Yep. Great. Yeah. Okay, that's the seed.
I mean, so like, let's say I have a little.
Yeah, so let's treat the You want to treat the allergies?
Oh, yeah. The sinus allergy.
Sinuses and allergies. Okay, let me get the, all right,
How
so we'll
often
go.
do you have to do this treatment for it to be effective? Do you realize like a change after the first time, or is it something you have to do as soon as it falls off again?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how long you've had the condition, and that's the real answer. That
And Beth, you leave it on till they fall off, right? Isn't that usually the way it goes?
No, you want to because the skin will get irritated. So after 5 days, or you do want to take it off. And another thing that is kind of like a healing reaction, though I do tell people it is the same side that you want to treat. So if the condition is your right shoulder, you want to treat the right ear. And also that it's that it over time it will lessen, that it's not necessarily instantaneous. Yeah. But
and again, you're offering sessions for $50 for personal, but let's just do this. But
yeah.
people
yeah. And sometimes too, though, actually it may irritate. That's the other thing, so as it's healing, if you have like this throbby, dull, achy feeling, that's actually therapeutic. So some people are like, I couldn't, just having a seed on your ear should not irritate you to the point of like, I couldn't stand having that seed on my ear. This is a sign the body's actually using that energy for healing. So that is another thing.
A little pain, a little fever is all good.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go.
Where am I putting it?
Yeah, so let's treat that point for sinus.
And by the way, someone asked a question, does it matter if it's the left or right ear?
Yes, so same side. So if it's the right shoulder, you want to treat the right ear. But for sinuses, it's both, so it doesn't matter. It would matter though, what side do you sleep on?
Oh, because,
Should we do both ears?
You could do both ears, but I find that for sleep, people are either right or left, sleeping. So I like to just do one ear.
Right, but if it's a condition on one side, even if you
treat that side, but you want to sleep. So that's the thing. If you sleep normally on the right side and it's the right shoulder, treat the left. It will treat both sides.
Okay.
So that's the answer to that. Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got the ear.
Oh yeah. So let's treat that point, right? I don't know how to show you. Oh, can you see it? So I would treat this point right here. Can you see it?
Is it here?
Okay.
Yeah, you see it, right? You see it right on that shoulder, that neck area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I see the photo again?
Yeah. Yeah, I would put it right here in this area. She has that indentation.
So would it be like right there?
Yeah, that's where I would put it. Yeah.
I should be an ear model. Pulls up the whole screen. Okay.
And I can send you a
And does she push hard on it?
Just push on the tape so that it all four sides of the tape adhere to the ear. Perfect. Yeah. Very good.
We're hired.
Yeah. And
do you recommend like playing with it, like stimulating it?
So you can, yeah, and a lot of people like to, and I've had patients that have been sitting in the car, and all of a sudden their back will start to spasm, and then they can grab on that ear seed, and kind of and it can help ease the spasm for them. Yeah.
Based on where it is, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. When you know the point to press. Yeah.
So I was just wondering. Okay, so everybody saw it, right? It's in my ear. Well, it stays on for 5 days. For an individual consult, we can treat ourselves specifically and more deeply is right. Does anyone have any questions about this? By the way, again, if you go to the flyer on the website, you can print out all these, like there's a whole thing that Beth put here, anatomy of the ear. It's really cool.
Yeah. And someone's asking about chronic shoulder pain,
yes,
bone spurs, arthritis. And, you know, so the simple answer is, you know, it can treat anything, you know, and that's, you know, it seems, you know, because acupuncturists, you know, can make these claims, you know, but really we can treat anything because it's all about building up your immune system. It's just focusing your immune system, and it's just focusing your energy a bit differently, you know, than it's going to on its own. And, you know, so there's no condition that we treat in the office that we can't treat with the ear seeds. So, and then someone asked about controlling eating, and it actually is really good for controlling eating, addictions, any kind of compulsive behavior, because it's actually, what's very interesting, there's a whole NADA protocol, it's NADA, and a lot of people don't realize, but it's the National Association for Drug Addiction, and natural, I think it's auricular acupuncture for drug addiction anyway. But it was developed in Harlem in New York City, and it's one of the, it's all over, and it's accepted for you know, recovery units, you know, for detoxification. You know, when you go into some treatment centers, you will be given auricular acupuncture, and there's a whole protocol just for addictions that has been studied by, you know, there's a lot of research on it, and it works. Yeah. So there is a weight control protocol, and if you guys, you know, anybody that, you know, just contact me after if you want, you know, just a protocol. I can just email that to you.
That's one question. Will you do a telecall if we're not going to use the seeds or we don't have them yet? Will you still give a protocol?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Based on like how many can you do? Like what's overload? You know, this is
Yeah.
Based on my personality, I could be walking around with.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah. So, like, what's the? If not to overwhelm the body, what do you recommend? I'm just
I wouldn't put more than like 6 or 7.
Oh,
you know, that's a good
way to go.
We're doing the vagus nerve now.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I know I have a fight, flight, vagus nerve thing, so this is exciting.
Yeah. I tell you that PTSD, you showed that PTSD protocol that I put up there. And what a lot of people don't realize that protocol actually, oh gosh, yeah, that's in there.
But it's in there, is that okay?
It's supposed to be, right?
It is, yeah.
Because it's like right.
It is, yeah.
So it's supposed to be like just before where the Q-tip goes in?
Yeah. And that's a good point for the tinnitus, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is so whoever asked for tinnitus, you could put it there.
Yeah, she's got it right, actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, and some people have a fear of the ear seed going into their ear, but it's really not anything to really worry about in reality. That tape will not allow the seed to go down.
Would you do for the vagus nerve both sides or one? Because vagus nerve, like what side, you know?
So the point will treat both sides. You know,
Wow.
so you could, it's just a little cumbersome, you know, to put all those seeds in both ears. So and then for sleeping, you know, I just like to treat one ear. But some practitioners will treat both ears. And if you have a very complex condition, you know, maybe you do want to treat both ears, but I usually just treat one.
Andrea, did you have a question? Oh, wait.
And someone asked for the name of the seeds to buy online. And if you just search, she posted the link. But if you go on Amazon and just type in ear seeds, you'll see you can get 600 seeds for about $7. So they're a penny a piece. And
I have a question. So like the one that's
she got it already. Okay.
anxiety. It has like 7 different dots. Do you divide those between the 2 ears, or do you just put all 7 points on the same ear?
So like we were saying, I usually put them on the same ear.
Okay.
You know, but it's up to you. You can experiment with going back and forth. Yeah, because any kind of emotional issue, it's an all over, condition. It's not in, one side or the other. So I like to just treat one side myself. I don't like to have all the tape everywhere, but and there's not, with energy medicine, there's no studies that are done, on, what is the best ear seed placement and things like that. It really is personal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun. This is like this is in quarantine. This is hours of endless enjoyment. So no, I really appreciate this, Beth, because just getting a little carried away. You so want to help people, and I got that, and to empower them. So does everyone know how to reach Beth and does everyone know? Did you see it in the chat? Okay. And also, can I post the name of the seeds to buy online? It's on the flyer on lifebalance.com, Deb, and yes, it can be used to control eating, which Beth mentioned. And then you can even do a session. And again, we love Thayer's masks. I got to end with the mask little thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. She has so many, it's up there. And does anyone else have a question? Well, Beth, I'll be calling you, and thank you so much.
I have a question.
Oh, we have one more.
One more, Beth. Since you said you see something on my kidney, and now you're talking about these seeds, I wouldn't even now try and do anything before I would, seeing you and you tell me what you really see. I mean, you couldn't have seen a lot, right?
Well, yeah, like I say,
how much do you actually see? What do you recognize? Because I have no pain. I used to have, I can tell you this, when I was 17, I just remember this. I had a very bad kidney infection for 7 weeks. I was not on penicillin or anything. Okay, that was not done. It was a doctor of the olden days. I just had to drink tea and, had tonsillitis before, and kind of the whole thing happened. I was home from school for 2 months almost. So, it was
Yeah, I know, Hilo. I mean, we can definitely call me. We'll do something. But I really do think that this is a way that it's safe. You guys don't have to worry. There's no fear here because.
Well, I have no fear.
Yeah, I know, but it's not.
I wouldn't just now try and see if I would put that seed anywhere.
Well, I would say you could. And with these simple protocols, there's no chance that you could hurt yourself. If the point is not therapeutic, it just won't do anything. If you miss the mark on,
I'm so sorry you're so far away.
well, this is a perfect way for me to help you. And that's one of these things. The blessing of the pandemic, is that there's all these people that I can help, from a distance, and empowering people, that you don't necessarily need to go to a practitioner, that you do have a body knowledge, and that the more that you know your own body, ways to help yourself, it's
just also interest.
Healing out of the hands of each other, and really we're all healers.
It's just I'm asking also because of the interest I have in general in all these things, and I think the more questions are asked, it's good for us all. I have a friend here who's had a toothache for 2 months now since the lockdown started because the dentist didn't take her.
Coming in the garage, right?
Isn't that awful?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so this can help. These techniques can help. And
okay.
Clove oil is some too. I can send you some clove oil. Clove.
Oh, clove. Yeah.
Oil is very good for tooth pain. Yeah.
We
so these are ways that, simple things that, to help each other out and empower each other. That's really my
So
goal.
do you sell oils as well?
I Young Living. Yeah. I can get you clove oil.
No, it's not about the clove oil, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
I do want to talk sometime.
People can also, when you do a consult, just so people know, you're doing it more comprehensive with oils and really going into the whole system. And by the way, I realize
acupressure and essential oils and vitamin supplements. I'll take a full health history. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to call you. And what happened today was the link wasn't working, so we should do this again because people were not happy.
No.
I had to copy and paste it from the poster. Normally on my site, you just click on it and you go right in. It's fine. It's all good.
All right. Well, let me know. We'll do it again.
Thank you, guys. It was nice meeting everybody. Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much. It was a very
Thank you, Barbara.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. Well.
All right. Bye.
We'll chat. Bye-bye.